Good morning, everybody. So today is the sad day. We have to take this camera back to Sony, so I'm not going to have one. But I think they're released today, so we'll see when South Africa gets them, and then maybe Sony will, hook me up with a deal. But anyway, I really enjoyed this camera. I had it for a week. I actually used it quite a lot for video. I did do a lot of photo shoots on it, but I didn't do a behind the scenes video while I did a shoot. But that's one of those things. I will discuss this a bit further in depth throughout this week, but I wanted to quickly go over why I love this camera and why I will probably be selling my 6400 to buy this one, but I won't be selling my A7 III to replace this one.
Ti odio e te l'ho detto. Se mi ricercassi tu considerami morto. È bastato solo guardare il tuo nome sullo schermo per capire che fa più male ritornare a toccare il fondo. Solo con te divento così.
Just got to Sony. There's something going on here, which I think is the workshop for tomorrow that they're setting up for, but we'll see. Otherwise, I have to take this camera in now, so I'm going to switch right now to the A6400 so I can get a few B-roll clips of this camera to talk to you guys about, and then give it back, and then cry a little tear, and then drive home, and then carry on with a lot of editing. And then now this is the A6400, very sad, but I still love it. It did a lot for me. But anyway, I'm going to give this camera in and then we are going to head back home. And then that's that, boys and girls.
Tanto questa volta io non lascio che mi fotti. Scendi, questa macchina non porta una destinazione.
Okay, I wrote down reasons and questions of why I like this camera and what I want to talk about. And here's the first one. Because I didn't relocate my mic to the side where I normally put it, the microphone is, even though the fluffy thing is not on the microphone, it's still blocking the screen. And I've been talking to the camera for like 20 minutes and it wasn't recording because I couldn't see it. So that's already a plus. Just the screen flipping to the side makes YouTubing with this camera very easy because I can see that's recording. Now I've messed up time and it's hot in this car. I can't put the aircon on because it sounds crap, or because I couldn't see that. So there's plus number one, even though it wasn't my first reason. All right, you can also see that the camera is like chilling in mid-air in my car. I've put the Joby rig around the steering wheel. It works really well, but anyway, more about that later. I just want to firstly thank Sony South Africa for sending me the camera for a week, letting me try it out, even though it's like not out yet, and I really got to play with it a lot. I really enjoyed it. 200% certain that I need this camera in my life, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why, but there's also a whole bunch of reasons why it can't be my main camera, because I have to keep my A7 III. But let me jump into some of the questions I have, and then I can just like gooi them at you and not be too rehearsed. I put some questions down, I'm gonna read them, I'm gonna chat about it. Who is this camera for? That's question number one. Like, a lot of people are discussing, why is this camera even made? Because it's the A7 III sensor and specs and stuff. So it's just an A7 III in 2020. It's a few years after the A7 III came out. And why did they even make it, right? Now, for a lot of people, that is the reason, because not a lot of people need a flip to the side screen. Like, for what? And a lot of people don't need the better autofocus, because why? Why do you need eye tracking in video? But there's a certain set of people that do need it, like YouTubers or filmmakers that run and gun like quick and a lot, and people that want to take one camera that doubles as a whole bunch of things. And then mainly it would be for people who like the small form factor of the A6600 and the 6400 like this one, but want to get into full frame. So you get that exact same size. It feels the same to me. The only thing bigger is your grip, because you've got a bigger battery, and when it's flipped out to the side, it feels a bit bigger. But other than that, it feels the same. This setup, the A6400 mic, Joby Gorilla Pod, and 16mm 1.4 Sigma lens is heavier than what I had, or it felt heavier. I had A7C, Tamron 20mm 2.8, ND filter, and a mic. Pretty much the same setup, looks the same, but it felt way lighter using it, way lighter, which it probably isn't. If I had to actually, I'll work it up, put it on screen. It's probably not much lighter, but it felt lighter, which is a plus. And it was a full frame, and it had the stabilizer. Like, this one doesn't have a stabilizer. That would make it heavy already. I think if you had to compare the a7c to the 6600. They'd be very similar because of the stabilizer and the big battery, but I don't have one, and I was actually for a while trying to sell this one to buy a 6600 because I wanted the stabilizer and I wanted to get the bigger battery. So the same, almost the same reason I want the a7c now was reasons I wanted that camera. But now that the a7c is out, and I didn't think I was going to like it, I thought I was going to get it, and due to the price being more than this camera, I was like, maybe I can just keep vlogging on this. I don't need the a7c. And then I used it for a week, and I took my a7 III with and my a7c, and I didn't even use my a7 III once. I just left it at the hotel, and I just took the a7c with. I was vlogging, then I was switching from vlogging to photos, and then I was doing vertical, and then I filmed a whole bunch of Instagram TV with this thing. I did everything with this camera. I didn't even miss my a7 III, but there's a reason I got to keep it. Okay, next question. Why do I like this camera, and why does it fit perfectly into my workflow? Now, I spoke about this a little bit before, but my goal, I've said this before, my goal in photography and YouTube, right, is to have less stuff but do the same job. So if I could get away with not having a gimbal, which we can talk about that later, but not have a gimbal and create similar shots. I shoot a lot of dance videos and stuff, and like I have a YouTube channel called My Facetracking where we interview and film dancers, and I got to do gimbal shots because I do long takes for them. But if I could get away with it because the stabilization was that good, which is not that good, but if I could, I'd get away with it, right? I'd like to take 2 lenses, 3 max in my bag, and I'd like to take 1 camera, maybe a second one if I'm going to like a wedding or an event, so I have a backup, right? But in general, I'd like to take 1 camera, do my YouTube, do my vlog, do my photo shoot, everything on 1 camera. And up until now, I've always wanted my full frame with me, so I had to take this for vlogging because on my a7 III it's heavy and I can't see myself, and I don't need to see myself. Like right now the screen's blocked, but I like to see that it's not too bright, or if it is too bright I can turn this ND filter, or I can see it's recording, or little things like that if I want to see the audio. So I like to see the screen, even though you're not supposed to look at the screen. I like to see the screen just to check on those things, right? Check that the thing in the background is in the right spot, or check that my head's not like this and cut off and stupid. So there's reasons why I needed to keep both, and I love this camera. It doubles as a backup camera for dance events. We shoot high ISO on them, perfectly fine. But when I started using that camera, it's so worth the upgrade. It's so worth the upgrade. But the whole point behind this is I would like to have less stuff that can do more things. So if I went to Durban now, I could have taken 1 camera, a vlog lens, let's say my 85mm 1.8 and my 35 1.8. So I'd have 3 lenses and 1 camera, and I didn't have to take, I had my monitor with me, I had my magic arm with me, I had my small rig cage with me. I could have rigged it up all for the video, but I didn't. I just had the camera, I used the lapel mic on the dancers, or I used this for me, and I had the monitor to the side. I did everything on this camera. I didn't touch any of the accessories. So that's a whole ton of crap that I don't have to remember to bring. Now the next plus is this camera has its own batteries. I think it's the FC50 Z50 battery, and it's smaller, and I have a ton of them, but which is not a problem. Like, they last long enough, but I don't need to take a charger for them. I don't need to take this batteries. I just took my a7c battery and my a7 III battery, so I had 2 batteries. And I vlogged all day, and I did photo shoots the whole day on Saturday, and I used half a battery. Half a battery was finished, and that was it. So I could take 2 batteries with me, maybe 3 as a backup, and instead of 5 and 5 of these. You see what I mean? It makes life easier. It makes life simpler. And when you're running around in YouTube, especially in South Africa, where people are watching you and they see your camera and then they want to rob your stuff. I don't know how bad it is in other countries, but they want to steal your stuff all the time. So the less stuff you take, the less you have to worry about, did I leave something somewhere? I loved it. Anyway, let's carry on. If you do Instagram TV, which not a lot of people do, and I've been wanting to get into it, but if you do Instagram TV, this is amazing. Just being able to film vertically, and I was holding it like by the side of the camera with the screen flipped to the bottom, and I could just talk like that. There was no like flipping it out to the side or not being able to see yourself. And then when you did low shots, like when I was following Michelle on the beach to get B-roll, I had the camera really low to the floor, like really low, and I could just flip the screen out and then just see what I was doing. It was magical. It was awesome for Instagram TV, and it's made me want to do more of them. So I filmed 2 already, 3 so far, and all on that camera, and then I send the footage to the computer and I just edit it vertically, and it works like a bomb. One thing about Instagram TV is people often they film it for YouTube, and then they flip it, and then they expect people to turn their phone. And the charm about Instagram TV is that you can just, you're scrolling through stuff, oh, I'll put a video up, boom, you just sit like this and you watch it. You don't have to like, oh, turn your phone. It's stupid, right? I've done videos like that. People don't like it. Put the content that way, and this makes it really easy to shoot the content that way. I think I need to finish the rest of the questions when I'm at home, because I can't put the aircon on because it makes a noise. So I'm going to drive a bit, and then we'll stop at home and we'll finish off this video. Anyway, I'll see you guys there.
75 years later.
All right, so it's been a few days since I shot that piece in my car. I got a little sick. It wasn't coronavirus, but I got a little sick, and then I just put this off for a while, and I had a lot of editing to do. So we're back on it now, and I wanted to carry on with the examples and the reasons why I think the A7C is going to be ideal for me to replace this camera. So this is the A6400 still. I do have my A7 III, but the A7 III I need to put a monitor on to see what I'm doing and see the exposure. And the minute I connect the monitor, then I lose face tracking, and then it does weird things while I'm shooting in the studio. So I'm just going to keep it like this. And that's another benefit of the A7C is when you connect the external monitor, the face tracking still works in 4K. So that's amazing to me, and I really, really miss that camera. Okay, let me carry on with my notes. Okay, so using the A7C on a gimbal was a big benefit too, because the minute I do low shots for dancers, the mechanism on the Weeble is blocked. It's blocking the screen. So with the screen flipping to the side, when I'm low, I can still see my angle, and I can connect the monitor, but then the same problem, face tracking goes away, and it's another thing to carry. So for me to be able to flip screen to side, and I can just go with the gimbal and the camera one time. Whenever I'm shooting something I like shooting portrait, and whenever I'm shooting stuff like that, being able to just turn the screen so the flare from wherever the light's coming from is not so bad. I can turn it a little bit this way, a little bit this way, completely down, low. I love having that screen. A lot of people like hate the screen. They say you shouldn't be using the screen, you should be using the EVF. And the EVF is bad on the A7C. I don't care. I like the screen. I like that things in cameras are making your life easier. I like that you don't have to like go out of your way to make life harder in 2020 when stuff's already being made easier for you by technology. Just use the features as it is. If you're enjoying these types of videos, just do me a favor, click that red subscribe button, click the bell. Please support me in my little YouTube adventure that I'm trying to make a thing. We have some really cool videos coming up. I shot some cool behind the scenes stuff with models, and I just wanted to get this video up before I throw those in. Well, I would love to replace my A7 III with an A7C, but I can't right now. And I don't know if I went over this, but I need the 2 card slots. A lot of people say, no, you don't. I've had a card fail. I don't want that again. I need 2 card slots. When I do stuff like weddings, or if it's like a corporate thing where there's a lot of people being like paid to be there, you don't want to be the guy who stuffs up because the memory card died and you have to reshoot it all. You don't want to be that guy. Even if it's 1 in a million chance that your card's going to fail, you don't want it to be your card that fails. So having that backup card, it's stupid sometimes, but it will save your ass if it's a big job or a wedding or a, anything like that you can't reshoot without it costing a fortune, or you just can't reshoot. That extra card slot would help a lot. And the A7C, as much as it ticks every single box I would ever need it to tick, because I don't need the better EVF. I use it if it's too bright, or if I'm trying to look at a photo to see if the exposure is right. Other than that, I don't really use it. So for me, the only reason that the A7 III needs to stay is the 2 card slots. Because when I do a wedding, or when I do something, I need that backup. I need that backup shot. All right, so a few other, issues and pluses. So the one issue I would have for photos is I like to max out my shutter speed so I can keep it wide open. So if I had to use this lens, I like to shoot 1.4 dance photography shots, but then I need to max out the shutter speed because I tend to shoot like middle of the afternoon with like bright 12 o'clock sun. So then I would like to have 1/8000th of a second shutter speed. That's just to kill the light. That's not to freeze the action. Dancers at their peak movement, usually by 2000th of a second, they're frozen. It's not like they're more frozen later than that. I shoot a lot of my stuff like 800th of a second to 1/200th of a second. So that's not the reason. The reason would be to kill the light. So if I need to kill the light even further, then I would need to put a ND filter on, because the A7C only goes to 1/4000 of a second, which is okay. It was dark enough for all the stuff I was doing over the weekend in Bethlehem. And then sometimes you would go up to f2 anyway, because you're trying to get them more in focus. And it's not a big deal to me, but it's an issue that a lot of people will have because you're not getting that 8000 of a second. Oh, so here's one of the biggest reasons why this camera is awesome. It's a small thing, but to me it's a big thing. So you can have the focus spot gray, or you can have it red. So you can't change it to any color, but you can make it red, which was amazing for me. So when I'm shooting, I often have to find the spot, and it's annoying. On the A7C, you have a color change, which is amazing. Come on. It's not a big thing to a lot of people, but to people like me that are always struggling to find the stupid gray dot, and then you have to hold the button, see it, move it, it's very annoying. And then another plus for photography is the real time AF, which is also in video. So when I was vlogging, you could actually see the box around my eye, whereas now I can see the box around my face. I've never had an issue with face tracking. Like when I'm doing video, because you're shooting at 50 of the second, thing like if I move, that's blurry. So I'm not zooming into my eye to see focus anyway. But it's nice to know that it's there in video, and nice to know that it's always hitting it. I will, when I get the camera again, do some tests where we'll do some spinning dances, and I'll try to record the screen so you can see how it's picking up face and eye when she's doing pirouettes or something. But yeah, the real-time AF is really nice. You can put it on spot tracking, so you can go to the bottom, push the button, and then acquire focus, and then just move it, and it will follow that person around. And you can do it with dancers. I did some tests where I would get focus, and I'd let her just do her shot where she runs, jumps, and takes a picture. And it does work pretty well. But for me personally, I use zone, and the green boxes just stay on her body. And because I'm not shooting a close-up of her face is in focus anyway. And I use that tracking. I'll do a full video on why I use zone as opposed to something like face tracking or that spot acquire tracking and then let her run kind of thing. It's fine and it works well, but for me it's also less smooth. It's a bit slower for me, so I'll do a video specifically on that. I want to do a few more videos on how to work with dancers. I know I shoot a lot of dance, but I haven't done a lot of tutorials on it. So I'd like to do a video on like low light dance photography at events, when you should use flashes, or if you shouldn't use flashes, should you use consistent lights, like how to get the timing for jumps, what you should prepare shooting with dancers. I want to do all these things because I do shoot a lot of dance. It's kind of what I think I'm known for, but I don't do a lot of tutorials with you guys on YouTube, so I'm going to start setting those up for sure. The other cool thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start shooting live videos on my Instagram while I shoot for YouTube. So when we go out and film, on top of this camera, I'm going to mount my phone. So I'll mount my phone like this, and I'll go onto Instagram Live. It'll be my Instagram and the model's Instagram, and I can answer questions, or if you want questions added to the video, then you can do it live, and you can ask me to ask the model to do something. So please join my Instagram. It is @OpticalNoise, and I'm going to be doing a lot more live things. I want to do things where I do lives with models, and they can explain what they like from the photographers, what they need, what they don't want to hear, how they like to prepare, stuff like that. So please join my Instagram. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, so I think those are all the points. Michelle, come down here.
Hello.
Michelle's home from school. So I had a question for you, because it's on my list, you see.
That's for
Look.
hello. Thank you for buying coffee.
So this is my talking points for my video. What's Michelle's views on the A7C that I took to Bethlehem? You didn't use it much, but what was your first thought?
My first thought when I hear the phrase A7C is that you need to stop talking about it around my phone, because if I see one more ad for that, I'm going to throw something at you.
She kept getting adverts on YouTube for the A7C.
My phone listens apparently really well, because his incessant talking about the A7C meant that my phone started giving me ads for the A7C.
What did you like about it?
It looks very pretty. The flippy screen is nice. There's a battery symbol on the top of your screen.
Because it's gonna die.
Oh.
What else do you have to say about it?
I don't know. I don't know the difference. It's easier to tell which.
We got cut off the battery died, which is another benefit of the new camera, is it has the bigger battery. Because I went through like 3 dance shoots and vlogging and Instagram TV on one battery that day on Saturday, which is a plus for me. So if you have to, because you use this camera all the time at comps, so if you had to have that camera, would it make your life easier or the same?
I suppose it is lighter as well. It was lighter.
A little bit, yeah.
It's like a little bit lighter, and me knowing not really much about cameras, it's easier for me to tell them apart. And the flippy screen's cool. The way the flippy screen flips.
These are all very non-photo type answers. You need one for your social media company.
What?
A7c.
If you didn't know, I'm running a social media company called Simply Hashtag. Go check it out.
I'll put it down there.
Yeah.
If you're not in South Africa, please don't ask us to do your social media.
Unless you feel like flying us over there, in which case, by all means,
we can't
please.
fly there to shoot your coffee shop. We would like to, but we can't.
If you want to pay for it, we'll gladly fly over there. If you pay for our travel and our accommodation, we'll give you free photos.
Your butt's kind of popping out on the side there. All right, so that is the thoughts I had on the camera. I'm definitely going to get one. I say this, but I still need money. So someone needs to buy this camera before I can buy one. But I'm definitely going to get one, and it's going to replace this camera, and I'll have 2 full frames instead of the one crop, 1 full frame. And then I'll have the A6000 as a third, like backup. We used to just give it to whoever's helping us, even if they don't know what they're doing. I set the camera up and I just let them shoot. But yeah, those are my thoughts on why. I should call this 10 reasons why. I'm going to count how many reasons there are. That's what the video is going to be called. 13 and a half reasons why the A7C, why I have to own the A7C. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, and comment. And then share this with a friend. Share this with someone trying to buy this camera if they want. If you want to see me using it, like actually for Instagram TV, there is videos on my Instagram. And then there's, I think there are 2 or 3 videos on the A7C while I was in Bethlehem and Durban. They were more vloggy, but you can check out the quality and let me know what you think. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry it's been so long since I did this video. But she just yelled, oh my god, there's garlic bread from the other room. Alright, so I'll see you guys later and enjoy and check you later. That's it, that twice. Peace.